Namaste and welcome to React Bits. This episode is for those who want to become a professional developer, who want to pursue their career in technology or becoming a developer in 2020 or beyond. So in this video, I'll talk about some of the things that I think are necessary apart from coding to become a professional developer. What I believe is becoming a developer is not only knowing how to code. You need to learn some other tools and traits of the industry in order to succeed. So in this video, we are going to talk about those additional tools and traits that I think are absolutely necessary to become a good or professional developer. And by developer, I'm referring to any developer, backend, frontend, mobile, even a database or a web developer, anyone. So these tips I think are useful for anyone who is going to pursue their career in tech industry. So let us get started. A little disclaimer, these are my personal opinions. You don't have to agree with them or you don't even have to like them. I'm sharing this because I think these will help at least some of you, because these things have helped me in my personal and professional career for past 10 years. So let us get started with these tools and traits that I think are important. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, and if you like my videos, share them with others as well. And after viewing this video, please in the comments provide your thoughts, what you think of my tips and what you think other things that are important to become a professional developer that I have not mentioned here. First and foremost is the searching for answers. So Google and Stack Overflow is the best friend of a developer, and no matter how experienced you get, how professional you get, you are always searching for answers, because there are always some problems to fix, there are always some bugs to fix. So knowing how to search question and find the proper answer and then apply that answer in your particular context is of utmost importance, and that is the key, I think, is to become a most professional developer. Next is asking questions. So sometimes when you search through the questions, search through Stack Overflow, even GitHub issues, you'll not find the right answer to your problem, or someone has not yet fetched the problem, that you are looking for. So you need to learn to ask the question. And there are proper ways to ask a question. For example, if you are asking a question about a bug or a issue that occurred in your code, the proper way to ask will be provide a minimal code that others can use to reproduce the same bug, and also provide the error logs properly as a screenshot or as a text. That way others can reproduce the problem, they can fix it to help you, and that not only gets a quick response but also gains you respect in the community. And next is being able to create a proper GitHub issues, because nowadays we are using lots of open source codes and libraries and frameworks. We need to learn how to create an issue if we have a problem that has not occurred before. And same as asking the questions, whenever you are creating an issue, be specific, provide the codes that is causing the issue, provide the error logs properly, so that the maintainers or anyone else looking at your issue can figure out the problem, reproduce the problem and help you solve it. Or if there is a problem in the framework or library, the maintainers can fix it. Not only asking the question but also helping others solve their problem, answering someone else's questions will also help you a lot in becoming professional, because you learn a lot by solving someone else's problem. You learn a lot about the code someone else writes and a lot about the framework or language that you are using, because working alone you'll not face so many problems, but trying to help others fix their problem will help you solve so many different problems that might occur later in your career. Next, open source is everywhere, and we tend to read code more often than we write. We read and read a lot of code. Even in documentations, we have code. If we are searching for bugs and answers in GitHub or answers in Stack Overflow, we are again reading the code. So learning how to read the code, properly analyze the code, and understand someone else's code is a huge benefit. So without that, I think you cannot become a professional developer without learning how to read someone else's code. Because when you are a professional developer, it is almost sure that you will be working with a team, and there are multiple people writing the code in the same application. That way you'll have to understand someone else's code, someone else's approach. So reading and reviewing open source code will get you there, understanding others' code and applying them in your context. Next, reading documentation. Documentations are for every programming language, frameworks, plugin. They have their own documentations, and knowing how to go through documentations to learn new things is what makes you a developer. So whenever you are starting with a new language or framework or a plugin or libraries, you need to learn their documentations to figure out how to use that particular language, and finding the solution to your particular context or using that plugin or library in your context by reading the documentation is a huge bonus. If you can do that, then you are already a good developer. Next, this is my personal preference and personal opinion that Linux and command line are very important for a developer to understand. So having the basic knowledge of command line, how command line works and how Linux works will help you a lot. And especially for web developers, Linux is everywhere. Linux is in the server, Linux is in the client, Linux is even in mobile, Android devices. So knowing the Linux and command line, and I think the command line, once you know the Linux command line, it is easier to work with Mac as well. And even Windows nowadays have a Linux shell inbuilt with Windows Subsystem Linux in them, or even PowerShells are similar. So once you know one command line tool, you can use or interchange that knowledge with other platforms as well. Next, Git. So the picture speaks for itself, the importance of Git. And Git is a version control system, or even better, it's a distributed version control system that helps you work in group and that helps you save the multiple versions of your code, so that whenever you have a problem, you can roll back to any other version. And to understand actually what Git is, you need to learn Git. So to understand what I'm saying here, you need to have the basics of Git. So if you are programming in a team, if you are working in a project, then knowing Git and GitHub, how to use Git and GitHub or similar like GitLab or Bitbucket is absolutely necessary. You cannot become a developer without knowing how to Git. Next, API. APIs are everywhere, and especially REST and JSON, because those are the standards at the moment. And there is GraphQL too, but it is not widespread or widely used at the moment. So knowing the basics of API, how API works is of utmost important. Even better if you know how to create API, how to secure them, those are better understanding, but knowing the basics is absolutely necessary. For example, if you are a mobile developer, you cannot go around without knowing API, because mobile applications connect to the database or connect to the information world, connect to other programs using API. So API is the thing that interconnects every programs with each other. API is a language that one program used to connect with another program. So you need to know at least know the basics of REST API, how to work with them. Next, basics of web and mobile platform, which I believe is that web and mobile are the standard platforms of modern communication. So everything is on web, everything is in app. So knowing the basics of these platforms, how they work, how they operate together, like mobile app communicates with the web server using API, those kind of tools and traits will help you a lot to go further in your career. And next, I think the final one is automation. So once you know those kind of things, basic things, and you are doing programming for few times, you'll understand that there are so many things that you do repeatedly, and if you automate those things, then that will help you a lot in becoming a lot more productive. That will help you in finalizing your workflow, and automation in your personal workflow, as well as automation in testing and continuous integration and continuous delivery using automation. These kind of tools and traits will help you further in your career. Now finally, some bonus for Flutter developers. What I think is what Flutter developers, professional Flutter developers, need to have is a basic understanding of native platforms. Though we are writing code in Dart, we are not interacting directly most of the time with native platform, but we need to understand the basics of native platform, because whenever we are accessing native functionalities, we are using a plugin, we have some native setups to do, and maybe after we have finished our application, we are going to build and launch. We need to know how to do that for each platform. So having the basic understanding of native platform is of utmost importance. And next is basics of mobile applications, how they work, how they connect with API, having basic knowledge of API, as I said before, a REST API, how they connect with each other, how mobile applications interact, how user interact with mobile applications. Those kind of basics of mobile applications itself is also of huge importance. And finally, some basics of cross-platform, because Flutter is a cross-platform development. And I suggest one more thing is that if you are becoming a developer in 2020 or beyond, cross-platform is the way to go. There are multiple platforms, but learning each platform separately is not a good idea. So always look for some solutions that provide cross-platform capability, so that single code base works on multiple platforms. So understanding basics of cross-platform, how they provide native support, that you are writing a single code base but that supports multiple platform, how that is achieved using plugins, and for Flutter, say platform channels. Those kind of understanding will be a huge bonus, and these understanding, basic fundamental understanding of these things will help you always in your career, because these fundamental things are not going to change often. Like for a cross-platform mobile application, how they interact with native platform to provide a cross-platform support is same for React Native and Flutter and even Ionic. So having those basic fundamental understanding will give you a huge bonus. Finally, thank you everyone for watching this video. Please share your thoughts in the comments and share other tools and traits that you think are of utmost importance to become a professional developer in 2020 and beyond, so that I can learn from you as well. And if you do not like anything, please do provide those comments as well. I'd like to improve my workflow as well as my videos. So thank you everyone, and if you have not subscribed, please do subscribe, like and share my videos if you like them, so that more people can have the benefit of this video. Thank you.